This is a squirrel. He's doing fine. He's got a decent stash of nuts. Not legendary, but solid, collected over time. No major gaps, no major regrets. A bit of variety, a few extra crunchy. A classic hazel or two for emergencies. It's good. He could sit with that. But then he hears something. It's faint, somewhere off in the trees. Laughter, chatter. Apparently, a new nut tree was discovered. Exotic, extra shiny, slightly salted. He looks at his stash. Suddenly, it feels basic. He grabs a nut to reassure himself, but all he can think is, what if the other ones are better? So he sets down his perfectly acceptable nut and runs toward the noise. When he arrives, the other squirrels are already there. They're holding their nuts up to the light, comparing notes, taking pictures. He grabs a few. They're fine. Honestly, they taste almost the same. But now he's not thinking about flavor. He's thinking about value, about whether he has the right nuts, whether everyone else knows something he doesn't. This is how FOMO works. FOMO isn't fear of missing out on survival. It's fear of missing out on the ideal experience. It's the idea that while you're here, living your life, collecting your nuts, something better is happening somewhere else. And the squirrels who are there, they're winning, they're laughing, they're enlightened, they're doing it right. Back at his original pile, he feels unsettled. These nuts used to feel satisfying. Now they feel bland. They don't sparkle. They don't trend. He tries to focus, but his thoughts jump. What if there's an even better nut across the ridge? What if the squirrels down by the river found a rare hybrid blend? What if I'm wasting time being here when I could be there? This is the loop. FOMO convinces the squirrel that he must stay in motion, that the moment he stops and commits, he's choosing wrong. And choosing wrong means being left out, falling behind, being the squirrel who didn't get it. So he collects more, not because he's hungry, but because he's anxious. He jumps from one grove to another, half commits to a dozen piles, keeps scanning for the newest drop, the rarest nut, the best tree. Each time he finds something decent, his mind interrupts. Sure, this one's okay, but what if the next one is amazing? So he drops it and keeps running. This is the exhausting magic trick of FOMO. It disguises endless wanting as progress. It replaces satisfaction with potential. The nut in your paw becomes irrelevant, because the nut in the next tree might be better. And even if it isn't, there's comfort in the search, or at least distraction. Eventually, the squirrel stops to breathe. He's surrounded by unfinished piles, unsorted, half-dug, barely remembered. He's been busy all day, but somehow has less than when he started. Because FOMO doesn't just make you chase new things, it robs you of enjoying what you already have. The squirrel doesn't feel closer to joy. He just feels scattered. He looks at his paws. They're covered in dirt, empty. He tries to remember the last time he sat and actually enjoyed a nut. He can't, because FOMO doesn't let you sit. It doesn't let you arrive. It just whispers constantly, there's probably something better than this. If you're already wondering whether watching this video was a mistake and there's a better one out there, go ahead and like it anyway. And subscribe, so you don't miss the next one and spiral about that too. Daily alerts. You buried 3 nuts today, well done. Squirrel 6 meters away is hoarding faster than you. Trending nut, Brazilian cashew, only 4 left in your zone. He didn't ask for these notifications, but once they started, he couldn't ignore them. Every buzz might be important, or urgent, or existential. Suddenly, he's not just a squirrel. He's a brand. He's a strategist. He's the CEO of Squirrel Corp Trademark, managing assets across 12 zones and 5 root systems. He wakes up with the sun, not to forage, but to check his acorn analytics. He doesn't just bury nuts now. He geotags them. He doesn't just eat. He live streams it. He joins forums, watches nut unboxing videos. At first, it's thrilling. He's informed, efficient, engaged, but also twitchy, distracted. He finds himself opening the app mid-conversation, mid-dig, mid-chew. One morning, he catches himself trying to swipe left on a real nut. Instinct, muscle memory. There's no screen, just a nut. But he stares at it for a while, waiting for something to load. It doesn't. And suddenly, reality feels slow, unresponsive. So he checks his app again, just in case. He doesn't know what he's checking for, but it helps. Sort of. Maybe. In the afternoon, he logs into NutNet, the social branch of the app, squirrels everywhere, posing next to polished nut stacks. Captions like, "Rise and grind, buried 15 almonds before sunrise. If you don't hustle, someone else eats your pistachios. Stay hungry." He tells himself it's motivational, but mostly he just feels behind. He looks at his own pile. It's perfectly fine, healthy, even. But now, somehow, not enough. So he gathers more. Not because he's hungry, but because that's what high-performing squirrels do. The dopamine hits are quick. New nuts, new likes, tiny surges of joy. And then, nothing. Just the ache to check again. He doesn't even remember burying the last 3 nuts. But they're logged. That's what matters, right? Right? That night, he dreams in hashtags. Wakes up at 3 a.m. with a phantom buzz in his paw. Checks anyway. It was nothing. Still, he scrolls for 20 minutes, just to feel normal. By morning, his eyes sting. His tail feels heavy. He forgets where the real pile is. His memory's cluttered. His focus is cracked. His head, full of static. He can't tell if he's a squirrel managing nuts, or if the nuts are managing him. But there's no time to think about that. He's got 3 unread alerts. If you've checked your stash, your feed, and your pulse in the last 5 minutes, you might want to subscribe. The squirrel's just getting started, and he's got a lot of tabs open. The squirrel tries to take a break. He tells himself he'll spend the morning offline, reconnect with nature, smell some bark, eat a nut the old-fashioned way, chew first, log later. 10 minutes in, he's pacing. His paw twitches. What if he missed something? What if Barry went viral again? What if there's a new stash technique he doesn't know about? And it's weird. At first, his brain fights it. You're wasting time. You're falling behind. Everyone else is out there gathering. But then, quiet, real quiet. He listens to the wind. It's been a while. He notices a bird, no agenda, just flying around. Not because it has to, but because it wants to. He watches it for a long time. Later, a friend passes by, sits next to him. No small talk, no pressure. They share a nut. Not because it's productive, but because it's nice. And slowly, the squirrel realizes something. He doesn't miss the hustle. He misses himself. The version that used to laugh at weird-shaped acorns. The one who built forts out of leaves just because. The one who didn't measure his worth by how much he carried. That squirrel is still in there, just under a few too many to-do lists. So he tries something different. The next morning, he wakes up and doesn't rush. He stretches. Slowly. Drinks water. Slowly. Chooses one nut. Just one. He doesn't time the dig. Doesn't track it. Doesn't log it in the Acorn app. He just digs and buries it and walks away. And it's enough. He starts saying no. No to extra loads. No to quick favors. No to carrying everyone else's winter plans. Not because he doesn't care, but because he finally understands. You can't help others from an empty pile. He still works, still squirrels, but differently. He picks fewer nuts, takes real breaks, sometimes takes a nap before hitting the wall. Radical stuff. He learns that rest isn't lazy, it's fuel, it's maintenance, it's survival. His pile is smaller now, but it's honest. It's not polished or optimized or alphabetized. But it's his, and he actually likes it. Some days he still slips, says yes to too much, forgets to breathe, tries to catch up to squirrels who aren't even watching. But now he notices it, and when he notices it, he pauses. He reminds himself, you're not a machine, you're a mammal. Machines don't burn out, they just break. He's allowed to pause, allowed to eat a nut without multitasking, allowed to sit without guilt, allowed to exist without constant output. And sometimes, when the sun hits right and the world slows down just enough, he remembers why he started all this in the first place. Not to be the fastest, not to be the strongest, not to carry the most, but because he loved the forest, the dirt, the trees, the nuts, the weird piece of digging a perfect hole for no reason at all. But now, right at the top, in big, bold bark scratches, don't forget to rest. Because sometimes the most radical thing a squirrel can do is put the nut down. He still gathers, still forgets things, still sometimes overdoes it, but now he knows when to stop. If this felt a little too real, subscribe. We'll be here, gently reminding you to rest, probably with a nut.